Welcome back to another Reflect video. My name is Brendan Plank. Today, during Donald Trump's rally, he threatened a bloodbath if he doesn't win.
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole... That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. A friend of mine...
Now, the Biden-Harris campaign team released a statement after Trump said those words. Says, tonight, Donald Trump said there would be a bloodbath if he wasn't elected, and that if he lost, there would be no more elections. After opening the general election by meeting with authoritarian leaders and rallying alongside conspiracy theorists, Donald Trump continues to praise dictators, promise to pardon political violence, and launch racist attacks against Black and brown Americans. It's why last night, Trump's own former vice president, Mike Pence, who Trump supporters called to hang for not overturning the election, came out against Trump. This is who Donald Trump is, a loser who gets beat by over 7 million votes, and then instead of appealing to a wider mainstream audience, doubles down on his threats of political violence. He wants another January 6th, but the American people are going to give him another electoral defeat this November because they continue to reject his extremism, his affection for violence, and his thirst for revenge. This is totally pathetic from Donald Trump. He is a complete loser. He has evolved from, you know what, I'm just going to take my ball and go home if I lose, to if I don't win, it's all rigged. Now it's, well, if I don't win, we're going to kill you. This is from the guy who already had one of his supporters killed at Capitol Hill, and now he wants them, and many are arrested, which we'll get to later, but he wants them to start a war if he loses. And he is talking to the most delusional, well-armed people in America who he's convinced that the federal government and us liberals are all coming for them, right? Just like they indicted him 91 times. I don't really understand how they think that Donald Trump is anything like their poor, uneducated asses. But, well, here we are. Here we are. Donald Trump giving them the green light to murder Americans. Great, Donald. Now, Donald also had a moment where he was saluting those 1-6 hostages. Very strange.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the horribly and unfairly treated January 6th hostages.
This, I think, is a terrible idea for Donald Trump because there are young men listening to him who are going to murder people before the election, like they've done over and over again. And then they're going to use language in their manifestos that are going to match up perfectly with Donald Trump's bloodbath language. And the American people are going to see that time and time again. And they're going to be reminded that Donald Trump is a maniac. This is a terrible idea for Donald Trump. The people who love this are his cult. But that's not going to win him the general election. In the general election, there are millions of Americans who show up and say, all right, look, I'm making the decision today. And if they see that the guy who says, if I don't win, there's going to be war and you're going to die, I don't know. Are we that easily intimidated as Americans? Hell no. Now consider if Donald Trump does win, of course there's going to be a bloodbath because he's already commented that he wanted to shoot protesters and arrest journalists. The guy is out for vengeance. All he cares about is shutting down all of the enemies that he made throughout his first term. That's why out of the 44 cabinet officials who worked with him, there are a very few who want him back in the White House. The vast majority of people who saw him, who worked under him, don't want him anywhere near 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue again.
You can now add Pence to the ever-expanding list of former Donald Trump officials who say that the former president should not ever step foot in the White House again. Just let that sink in. This is a list that is quite long at this point. Among them, his former Attorney General, Bill Barr.
You know, he's like a defiant 9-year-old kid who's always pushing the glass toward the edge of the table, defying his parents to stop him from doing it.
His former national security advisor, John Bolton.
Between Biden and Trump, there was no conservative on the ballot, so I wrote in the name of a conservative, and I would do the same in 2024.
his other former national security advisor, H.R. McMaster.
I think it would be terribly divisive for our country for him to run again.
The former Trump defense secretary, Mark Esper.
Do you think Trump can be trusted with the nation's secrets ever again?
No. I mean, it's just irresponsible action that places our service members at risk, places our nation's security at risk.
The other former Trump defense secretary, Jim Mattis, he said that Trump fomented an insurrection. The former Trump chief of staff, John Kelly, who says Trump has no idea what America stands for. His former acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney.
I quit because I think he failed at being the president when we needed him to be that.
And his former Joint Chiefs chairman, Mark Milley.
We don't take an oath to a king or a queen or to a tyrant or a dictator, and we don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator.
And there are others, quite a few more, in fact. But
this is only going to rip the country apart even more. I mean, once Donald Trump, if he were to win, it would be ripped apart to a point of no return, and Donald Trump wouldn't care. It's very clear with language like this that he does not care about anybody but himself. You'll hear mega cult members say, oh, he's going to be great. He's going to bring the country together. How's he going to do that when he wants to kill half of us?
How about the changing? I get out. How about the changing of the names of, we won Fort Bragg as an example. You know, the people in the area are going crazy. They changed the name of Fort Bragg. They changed the name of Fort Robert E. Lee. They changed the name of the different forts. We won World War I. We won World War II. We won everything we fought with, really, essentially, from those forts, if we wanted to win. A lot of wars we fight not to win. We fight just to fight because we have stupid people on top. We don't fight wars to win. But we won World War I, World War II out of these forts, and now they changed the name in disgrace. It's a very terrible thing, but to unite as a country, we are going to create this country. We are going to have a country that's greater than it has ever been before. Go out and vote. We love you. I love being with you. This is a special place to me. We won every single time. And vote for Bernie Moreno. He's a great guy. He'll be a great, great senator. Thank you very much, Ohio. We love you. Thank you. God bless you all.